Well, hello, YTPC. Piping artist Steph here, and Roy.
Skip.
Skip. That's right, we're not going by Roy. Skip. My hair's crazy today. This is what teachers look like at the end of a school day. So I'm teaching chemistry right now, and I am smoking my Baby Wellington. We bought this on one of the Danny Shore pipe sales. So I'm smoking my Baby Wellington, and I'm smoking Peterson of Dublin Sunset Breeze. It's Virginia, Burley, and Black Cavendish tobacco. I love this tobacco. And we'll get to why we're making this video in just a few seconds. We're going to load up tobacco. Look, it's tobacco in my bowl. Imagine that, a legal substance in a pipe that was made for a legal substance. Excuse me. So, the beginning of this video is because we have a couple of apologies. Our first apology goes out to all the YTPC members. And for those of you who are not YTPC members, YTPC stands for YouTube Piping Community. And when we talk about piping, we're talking about tobacco. Tobacco was grown in the United States. It's grown in Europe. It's grown in the Middle East. Tobacco is a substance that is legal almost everywhere. So, and if you're over the age of 18, you are allowed to smoke tobacco in this country. I don't know the laws in every country, but I'm pretty sure most countries it's 18 to smoke tobacco. And it's a legal substance, and it messes with your lungs, but as an adult, you can smoke it.
Good.
So what are you smoking?
I'm smoking a Moon Trance, and this also is a pipe that we got on that auction.
Danny Shore. It's one of the Danny Shore sale pipes.
Yeah, I smoked it last week. I enjoy it. Fits my mouth good, and doesn't get too hot. So it's called. I think it says Yellow Roll. And it's a bowl here, but I enjoy it.
Okay, so apology number one is to the YTPC members. There are thousands and thousands of you out there, and I'm subscribed to so many hundreds of YTPC members, and I don't get to all of your videos. I try to. What I have found lately is it's a lot easier for me to find someone who's live or something that's kind of short, 10 minutes or less, and catch up a little bit. Or if there's someone in particular, a member that I haven't watched in a while, I'll go and I'll catch up maybe one or two videos on their channel. So I apologize. I can't get to everyone's video, nor will I ever be able to. So that's just not going to happen. So that was my first apology. We're drinking corn whiskey.
Yellow corn.
Yellow corn. We are over the age of 21, and we are in the United States of America. So, over the age of 21, you can drink a glass of alcohol before your dinner, after your dinner, during your dinner, if you are over the age of 21. I do not drink when I go to work, and I do not drink heavily. I do not black out. I don't think that I have ever blacked out. I remember everything that I've ever done when I've been drinking alcohol. And I think only a few times when I was in college in my young, naive days, in my early and mid-20s, have I even thrown up. So I tend to I try not to overdo it. There have been times I've been sick and I've gotten nauseous, but I don't overdo my drinking. So that being said, I am currently back in the public school system. For those of you who didn't know, I was homeschooling. I was a part of a co-op, and I was teaching homeschool art. And in the past, I have taught homeschool science. I've also, for 8 years in the past, I taught agriculture, home ec, science, health in the public school system. So I am currently back in the public school system, and I had some public school students find my page. And I think it upset some of them because I was smoking a pipe. And the thing that I think is completely, excuse the term, but it's asinine that our youth today doesn't realize the history of tobacco in the United States country. I mean, a lot of tobacco was grown and is still grown in this country. And a lot of the tobacco farms that went under, that failed or lost sales or didn't have the ability to sell at an undercut price, they did. They went under, they sold their farms, and there's a lot of organic farmers that are able to use these tobacco farms because they were not using chemicals to keep their tobacco fresh and to keep insects off their tobacco. A lot of them were using insects, entomology, insects that are beneficial to the environment. A lot of them were using things like beer to keep the insects off of their tobacco crops. So many of the failed tobacco farms are currently being used for organic farming, because you have to wait a certain number of years if there are chemicals sprayed on certain ground, and you have to test the soil and see if it's clean enough to use for organic farming. So that's something to be said about our tobacco farmers. They were some of the original organic farmers, not using pesticides and herbicides. They were utilizing their own physical selves to pull up the weeds that might be harmful, and they were utilizing other insects and natural things such as beer to keep the harmful insects off of their tobacco leaves. So props to all of our tobacco farmers from the past and currently. And again, it is legal to smoke tobacco. Not that I'm against anything that grows naturally out of the ground, because it is legal in some states and in some countries for people to smoke things such as marijuana. I personally do not smoke it. And anyone who ever sees my videos knows that I always share what pipe I'm smoking and what tobacco I'm utilizing in my tobacco pipe. And I'm totally okay with medicinal marijuana for anyone who needs it or has an ailment that it helps with. But I'm also okay if it's in a state that it's legal and someone wants to use it recreationally, just like I utilize alcohol recreationally. That is completely your choice if you're an adult. So, those are my apologies, and that's all out of the way. What else did we have today? Voting in the US of A. What are your takes on voting today?
My takes on voting is it's an important part of being a citizen. I voted as many times as I could. And I don't vote straight ticket because I don't like political parties. So I'm all over here like that. And, you know, it makes them work for me a little bit harder to get my vote. You know.
I personally agree. So, would you ever vote Democrat?
I vote for Democrats.
A Democrat candidate,
Yes.
but not for the party.
I don't vote straight Democratic Party.
Well,
ticket.
I know that.
Right.
But if people are watching this and don't know you, you would vote for a Democratic candidate if you agreed with most of his.
Exactly.
If not,
Yeah.
there's never been a candidate ever in any election that I agree with 100%. There's just not. However, there have been candidates that were Democrats that I have voted for because I agreed with some of their stances. That being said, I have also voted for Republican candidates. And that being said, pause, stop, rewind. I am registered as a libertarian because I think that government should be smaller. They should take care of prisons, roads, helping with the education, um, finances. But I don't believe that they should come up with things such as how much should bread be taxed. Really? Bread? Food, I don't think should ever be taxed. I don't think food should ever be taxed. But that's just my personal opinion. I have also been Green Party in my youth. I was registered Green Party, but I didn't vote Green Party all the time. Not even for Green Party candidates. Because I do believe our planet is important for us, for my children, for my grandchildren. I believe that we shouldn't hunt species to extend it to an extreme where they become close to extinction or endangered. I do believe in voting. I do believe in guns. Currently, we have such a horrible overpopulation of wild boars in the state of Texas that they're starting to come into neighborhoods. We've even had some rip up just in our front yard, and we're a pretty populated area, and we're having wild boars come and dig up some of the urban areas. The neighborhoods are being destroyed because these wild boars their population is so huge right now that they're starting to tear up some of the people's yards in the front yard. So I don't know, I'm all over the page. So I believe that you should vote, especially if you know, but I also agree that if you decide not to vote, that's you exercising your rights. Hi, Restricted Piper. Wild boars are getting bad here as well. Where are you? Boars. Yeah, I understood what you meant. Boats. Boars. I understood. We were talking about wild boars. They are crazy in we're in East Texas. In East Texas right now, the wild boar population is booming. Oh, and you're in Missouri. It's crazy. I think we should have extra tags every year for the boar population because it's crazy.
You don't have to have tags for boars.
Not in Texas?
No.
Do you have to have tags for boars in Missouri? Also, let me state for the record, I don't think that you should have guns just for hunting. I think that as a U.S. citizen, you should be allowed, I don't know about other countries, because I don't live in any other countries, although I think every citizen in the entire world should be allowed to protect themselves. Here in this country, the reason why we have the amendment that we have, the right to bear arms, is so that if our government does become tyrannical, we can come together as citizens and tell them we don't agree with you. They're not letting anybody hunt them in Missouri?
Really?
That's weird. They're trying to poison them all.
Yeah,
but
and in Texas they're using it's a blood thinner, and they're poisoning them. But if they poison them like that, you can't eat the meat. So it's better to shoot them. But there's so many of them, they're overwhelmed.
I honestly don't agree with poisoning a population of animal that's in a boom, because if that animal is in a boom, that means that there's meat that can be utilized for the poorer population. And see, I don't think that the powers that be see it that way. They see hunting as sport and fun. The ones that are in the 1%, maybe. Because they don't go hungry. They can have food anytime they want.
Well, besides that,
but even the middle class, like,
if this poison boar falls down and then the buzzards come and eat it, then the buzzards fall over dead because they just ate blood thinner, and then whatever comes and eats the buzzards is going to get that, and so it's going to go all the way up or down the food chain. everything's going to get a blood thinner and everything's going to die.
Okay, so someone, I didn't see who it was, but someone said that governments have nukes, so guns against the government are kind of, um, it doesn't matter. At the same time, on the ground, I personally think that I would rather have a gun here at my house. What are they going to do? Nuke my whole neighborhood because I won't give up my guns?
Yeah.
I don't think so. They're not going to nuke an entire population, especially their own population, who they need in order to sustain their government and their own income. So if they want to come to my neighborhood and they want to explode my neighborhood, I think there are several of us that have plenty of firepower that could stand up to a military force. And a lot of times the military force will side, even if they are ordered by their government, a lot of times they will side with their general population. And I believe that it gives us at least an advantage. I don't care if they have nukes. They're not going to nuke an area that can be utilized for something. They might try to come in and kill us off if we aren't going to bow to their wishes. But if we are able to fight back, they might try to work with us, which is why I think the right to bear arms is a good thing. They're not going to nuke an entire area. They just won't do it, because if they do, then that area will not be able to. Texas is totally a gun-friendly state. It is. And one of the reasons why I would prefer to stay in Texas, there are a couple of the places I'd like to live just because it's beautifully, the surroundings, the nature is beautiful, but Texas is definitely a gun-friendly state, which is why I don't mind living here. I may not agree with everyone, but that's okay. That's absolutely okay. I'm the kind of person who, I have friends from all walks of life, all sexual orientations, several different religions. Not all my friends are Christian. I have some Jewish friends. I have some atheist friends. I am a firm believer of, I'm glad they constitutionally allowed you to carry in Missouri. Thanks for that info. I didn't know that. But I definitely agree with the right of the people. The people in government are here to represent us, the people. And okay, I've seen some videos lately of people saying, don't vote. Just don't vote, because we have no say-so anyways, and you're falling into their trap of making you think you have something to say. But I don't agree with that either. I agree that voting, it's your right to choose whether to do it or not to do it. But I think that the people that are in power, if they realized how many of us in the mass public are not listening to the media and are not even listening to political parties, props to you for smoking today, Resurrected Piper. I personally think that the powers that be understand that us little people, their constituents, we may not make as much money as them, but we sure as heck have something to say. And if they understood how many of us are waking up and how many of us know that we're a larger amount of people than them. And if they're starting to realize, the government, the powers that be, the centralized banking system, they're starting to understand that us, the general public, are waking up to the fact that we're more powerful than they've ever let us believe we were. And we're waking up to that fact. And I think when more people go out and vote, we're exercising that direct arm of saying, hey, we're waking up, and we're not voting straight ticket. We're not voting just Democrat. We're not voting just Republican, and we're not putting up with any more of your crap. And we can take you guys over. There's more of us than there are of you. I think that they're starting to realize that fact, and they're going to start changing things. Otherwise, There's not going to be just protests anymore. There's going to be takeovers. So things have to drastically change, and if it doesn't change, it's going to break. And I'm not going to instigate it. I'm pretty comfortable in my surroundings. I'm comfortable with the laws of my particular land here in Texas, and I know some of the U.S. laws oversee us in Texas, but honestly, Texas has a pretty big population, and there's a lot of people here that are ready to stand up, protect our borders of just our state, our country, make sure the people that are living in our neighborhoods are not deviants. There's a lot of waking up right now going on, I think. So if you don't vote in the USA, that's your choice. If you do vote in the USA, don't vote just because you think one party is better than another. Vote on actual issues. I personally, this last time was all over the page. There are some independent candidates that are running in this midterm election who are absolutely backing things that I am for. Like, I think whether you're urban or in a suburb or in a rural area, you should be allowed to have any kind of sustainable farming, animals, vegetation. I will always back the Second Amendment. The First Amendment, the freedom of speech. I mean, we do it daily. Although YouTube does take down several of my videos for putting music in the background, which is ridiculous because those musicians, if you're taking down videos because music's in the background, you need to check yourself, because if somebody that I like and I'm watching YouTube, and this goes for the youth and the mass population, they're typically going to find out who that musician is, and they're going to go buy the album or buy the song or download it. So if you're a musician out there and you're telling YouTube to take videos off, I think you're pretty stupid, because if you're watching someone you like and you see a music or hear music, or you see something in the comments that says, oh, that's such and such song by so and so, people are going to go look you up. So if you're a musician and you're cutting off YouTube videos, not only are people not going to like you because of, you know, the lack of freedom of speech, people aren't going to go buy your album because you're not letting yourself be exposed. So that's all I got to say about that.
You wanted to apologize to one fellow?
Oh, LaDon Mott. I think I apologized at the beginning of the video, but before we turn off this live video, we want to thank everybody who does tune in, people who watch us. Skip and I are going to be extremely busy with work for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then Thanksgiving, so we won't be on again. We agree that everybody has a right to feel and think and do whatever you want. LaDon, I still have your painting and your cigars and your tobacco. It hasn't gone out yet, so I do apologize about that. I'll get it out soon. It's been a crazy few weeks. I thought I had sent it out, but I also have a cousin who's having a baby, and I had some other people that I had to send some stuff out to that had ordered some things. So, LaDon, your package is on its way soon. I will email you and let you know exactly the tracking number and everything when I do send it out. Do you have anything further to say?
I love the Kansas City Chiefs, so go Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, it's football. I don't really watch football.
It's
except
football.
for with him. All I know is I don't like the Cowboys.
I don't like the Cowboys either.
I think more than any of the political talk, me saying I don't like the Cowboys is probably going to get more thumbs down than anything. Sorry, guys. My dad shoved Cowboys down my throat. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Me neither. That's why we're a couple.
Aww. So we love you guys. Anybody who watched this, anybody who tuned in, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Keep on keeping on for all you tobacco farmers that are still around. Keep up the good job. For all the tobacco farmers who are no longer tobacco farming, rock on, guys. Thanks for keeping it organic so we can use those farms for organic fruits and vegetables. And everybody else, hugs and have a good time. We love all of you, even if you disagree with us. We're cool.
Cheers.